Ladies and gentlemen, you've been lying to. You've been sold a fairy tale that success comes from dreaming, from sitting on your ass and hoping the universe throws you a bone. Let me tell you the brutal truth. Only discipline creates freedom. Not your feelings, not your excuses, not your hopes. Discipline is the bridge between the miserable, average existence you're stuck in and the extraordinary life you could be living. You want to become the best version of yourself? You want the life you say you deserve? Then get ready to suffer, to bleed, to sacrifice. Because without pain, there is no growth. Without ruthless commitment, there is no greatness. Discipline is the hammer that forges kings. It's time to wake up, gear up, and get violent with your goals. Stop waiting. Start dominating. Discipline is the foundation of all freedom. Without discipline, you are a slave to your fears, your weaknesses, your environment, and worst of all, your own damn emotions. Every time you hit snooze, every time you procrastinate, every time you don't feel like it, you are surrendering your freedom. You might think you're free because no one's barking orders at you, but you're wrong. You're shackled by your own inability to command yourself. Discipline is the chainsaw that cuts through those shackles. It's the control over your mind, your body, your actions. Freedom isn't lounging on a beach. It's doing what needs to be done every damn day, whether you like it or not. When you practice discipline, you take back the steering wheel of your life. You stop being a passenger tossed around by every little bump in the road. You start building a path with blood, sweat, and relentless action toward the life you want. Without discipline, you're just another loser complaining about how life isn't fair. Life isn't fair. Grow up. Harden up. Make yourself so damn disciplined that life has no choice but to yield to your will. Every success story you admire, every empire built, every revolution sparked was the result of brutal, uncompromising discipline. No exceptions. Dreams without discipline are nothing but delusions. Plans without discipline are graveyards filled with the corpses of what could have been. If you can't master yourself, you'll spend your life being mastered by others, by bosses, by governments, by stronger men and women who had the guts to demand more of themselves. The world doesn't owe you anything. It doesn't care about your potential. Potential is a dirty word. It's what cowards cling to when they haven't done anything yet. Discipline turns potential into power. It's the daily grind, the monotonous, repetitive, brutal consistency that eventually explodes into visible success. That's the real magic. Discipline applied over time until the world can't ignore you. You want freedom? Financial freedom, emotional freedom, spiritual freedom. Earn it through discipline. Through endless, soul-crushing repetition of the right habits until you can do them in your sleep. That's when you become dangerous. That's when you become unstoppable. Freedom isn't free. It's the most expensive damn thing on earth. And the currency is discipline. Comfort is the enemy of progress. Comfort is a slow death. It's a sweet poison, a velvet coffin that lulls you into mediocrity. Every time you choose comfort over discipline, you kill a piece of yourself. You dull your edge. You lose the fire. Comfort makes you soft, makes you weak, makes you ordinary. And nothing is more pathetic than a person with dreams who chooses to stay comfortable. You don't grow when you're comfortable. You rot. Growth only happens under pressure, under stress, under hardship. It's forged in the fires of discomfort. The human spirit was designed to struggle, to overcome, to conquer. The second you stop challenging yourself, you start dying. Success is reserved for the savage few who willingly put themselves through hell day after day because they know that comfort is the sedative of the sheep. Every major breakthrough in history, in business, in sports, in warfare, came from someone who hated comfort more than they hated pain. They made friends with adversity. They sought out suffering. They built calluses on their minds. If you want to do anything worth talking about, you better get comfortable being uncomfortable. You better start craving the grind, the sweat, the setbacks, because that's the breeding ground of greatness. Comfort zones are prison cells. They're decorated nicely. They have soft cushions, good Wi-Fi, and just enough distractions to keep you pacified. But make no mistake, you're still locked in. And the worst part, you hold the key. It's in your pocket, you just refuse to use it because stepping into discomfort terrifies you more than living a life of regret. The average man spends his life trying to make things easier for himself. The great man, the disciplined man, spends his life chasing bigger challenges. While others are looking for the easy way out, he's running headfirst into the fire. And guess what? That's why he wins. That's why he owns empires, while others can't even own up to their failures. If you truly want to become the best version of yourself, you must declare war on comfort. You must slaughter it at every turn. Hunt down your weaknesses like a savage beast. Choose the hard path. Volunteer for hardship. Suffer now so you can live free later. Comfort is a luxury you can only afford after you've earned your scars. Consistency beats talent every time. Talent is for losers who rely on luck. Talent without consistency is a wasted gift, a joke, an insult to those who grind every day. Consistency is the real superpower. It's what separates the tourists from the conquerors. Plenty of people are talented. Very few have the guts to show up every day, no matter what. You aren't entitled to results because you're talented. You aren't entitled to success because you have potential. Results are reserved for those who execute relentlessly, day in, day out, rain or shine, sick or healthy, fired up or burned out. Consistency isn't sexy, but it's lethal. It builds momentum, it builds reputation, it builds destiny. The most dangerous person in any field isn't the most talented. It's the one who refuses to quit, the one who keeps swinging, keeps pushing, keeps fighting, even when nobody's watching. That person becomes a juggernaut over time. While others burn out, get bored, or get distracted, the consistent warrior becomes inevitable. Consistency compounds. One day of hard work means nothing. 10 days of hard work means little. But 1,000 days, a decade of ruthless consistency, that's when legends are born. That's when greatness becomes undeniable. It's a slow, brutal process, but that's exactly why so few achieve it, because they can't stomach the patience and pain it requires. If you can't be consistent, you will always be a spectator, watching others live the life you wish you had. You will clap for them, you will envy them, and you will resent yourself. The only cure is brutal, savage consistency, whether you feel like it or not, every single damn day. Your life is a direct reflection of what you do consistently, not what you do occasionally, not what you do when you feel inspired. Consistency is what will separate you from the billions of people who live and die as nobodies. If you want to be different, act different. Stay relentless. Pain is temporary, pride is forever. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is the price you pay for greatness. It's temporary, fleeting, and most importantly, necessary. Every ache in your body, every ounce of doubt in your mind, every sleepless night grinding toward your goals is a down payment on the life you say you want. Pain doesn't destroy you, it builds you. It forges your character, your toughness, your mental fortitude. Anyone who tells you otherwise is lying to you, trying to keep you soft and obedient. Most people spend their entire lives running from pain. They treat pain like a monster under the bed, something to be avoided at all costs. And that's exactly why they never accomplish anything worth remembering. You can either endure the temporary sting of discipline or suffer the eternal pain of regret. That's your choice. No one escapes pain, but you get to choose which kind. when you lean into pain, when you embrace it like a necessary ally instead of fleeing from it, you unlock a side of yourself you didn't even know existed. You become something more than what you were. You gain the unshakable pride that comes from knowing you faced the fire and didn't back down. You gain the right to hold your head high, not because life handed you something, but because you earned it through blood, sweat, and sacrifice. Pain sharpens your instincts. It clarifies your purpose. It teaches you to separate what matters from what doesn't. When you're in pain, all the noise of the world fades away. All that remains is your will, your desire, your commitment. Pain reveals who you really are. And for those who have the guts to endure it, pain becomes the greatest teacher you'll ever have. Most people don't understand this because they live their entire lives inside a padded cell of excuses. They anesthetize themselves with comfort, distractions, addictions. They never allow themselves to struggle long enough to find out what they're capable of. They die with their music still inside them because the thought of facing real pain scared them more than the thought of wasting their lives. It's your host. You must be different. You must be the one who smiles when the weight gets heavier, who laughs when the road gets rougher. Because you know what they don't. Pain is temporary, but the pride of conquering it will echo forever. Long after the scars have faded, the pride will remain. That pride will become your legacy. Your standards will define your life. Your life is a direct reflection of the standards you tolerate. High standards create high achievement. Low standards create a miserable existence. It's that simple. If you want more, demand more from yourself first. You cannot expect the world to give you excellence when you're not even demanding excellence from the man or woman in the mirror. The brutal truth is, most people set their standards based on their environment, what their parents expected, what their friends tolerate, what society deems acceptable. That's why they're stuck in mediocrity. Winners don't accept standards handed to them. Winners impose their standards on the world. They refuse to lower themselves for anyone or anything. They set their expectations higher than bleed, suffer, and fight to live up to them. When your standards are non-negotiable, you automatically filter out the garbage from your life. Mediocre people, weak habits, pathetic excuses, they all get burned off like dead weight. High standards force you to evolve or die. They create a gravitational pull upward. They make you stronger, sharper, more resilient. Low standards do the opposite. They rot you from the inside out. Setting higher standards isn't just about working harder, it's about being better. It's about the decisions you make every second, how you speak, how you act, how you treat your body, how you honor your commitments. Discipline isn't an act, it's a lifestyle. High standards are the iron framework that keep you aligned when everything else tries to pull you off course. You don't accidentally stumble into greatness. You build it brick by brick with the standards you live by every single day. Either you enforce your standards with an iron will, or the world will beat you into submission with its low expectations. Every second you breathe is a negotiation between who you are and who you could be. Win that negotiation. Set standards so high that even your worst day is better than most people's best. If you look around and don't like what you see in your bank account, in your relationships, in your body, in your results, it's because you allowed it, you settled, you tolerated it. Raise your standard to the point where anything less than excellence feels disgusting to you. Only then will you begin to build the life you were born to live. Action over feelings, always. Feelings are liars. They are the sirens that lure weak-minded people onto the rocks of mediocrity. If you only act when you feel like it, you're already dead. Winners act regardless of how they feel. Discipline means you do what needs to be done, even when every cell in your body is screaming for you to quit. Especially then. You will not always feel motivated. You will not always feel confident. You will not always feel inspired. Who cares? Feelings are irrelevant to warriors. Action is everything. Motion is what creates momentum, not emotion. You act first, you build the fire later. This is where most people fail. They wait for the perfect mood to strike. Newsflash, the perfect mood is a fantasy. It doesn't exist. Action comes first, feelings follow. When you let feelings dictate your behavior, you become a puppet, a slave to your mood swings, a leaf blown around by every gust of wind. How the hell can you expect to build anything worthwhile like that? Greatness demands that you chain your emotions to your mission, that you silence the whining little voice inside you and replace it with relentless execution. The most dangerous people in the world are those who have trained themselves to act regardless of circumstance. Rain, snow, depression, anxiety, fatigue, it doesn't matter. They show up, they handle business, they move forward. And in doing so, they separate themselves from the billions of weaklings who are still arguing with themselves about how they feel today. Every time you choose action over feelings, you grow stronger. You reinforce a new identity, the identity of a savage who does what others won't. And every time you let feelings win, you erode that identity. You weaken yourself. Every battle matters, no matter how small it seems. Understand this once and for all. Action is the only thing that moves the needle. Action is the only thing that gets results. Act when you're tired. Act when you're scared. Act when you're broken. That's how you build a legacy. That's how you crush the pathetic version of yourself that used to be enough for you. Ruthless self-accountability is non-negotiable. If your life sucks, it's your fault. If you're not where you want to be, it's your fault. If you're broke, overweight, lonely, lost, it's your fault. And that's good news, because it means you can fix it. But only if you have the balls to take radical, ruthless accountability for everything in your life. Most people will never achieve anything meaningful because they cling to excuses like a damn security blanket. They blame their parents, their boss, the government, the economy, their spouse, anyone but themselves. That mindset guarantees failure. Winners own everything. Winners take full responsibility for everything, even the things that aren't technically their fault, because ownership equals power. When you hold yourself 100% accountable, you stop waiting for someone else to change your circumstances. You stop looking for permission, you stop whining. You start acting. You start solving problems. You start commanding your destiny instead of begging for scraps from life's table. Radical self-accountability is brutal. It forces you to confront your own laziness, stupidity, and weakness. It strips away your illusions and leaves you naked with the truth. And that truth hurts, but it also heals. It also empowers. It also sets you free. You cannot build an empire on a foundation of lies and excuses. Only truth can hold the weight of greatness. Every setback you face must be treated as a lesson you failed to learn. Every defeat is a reminder that you have more work to do. You can cry about it, or you can crush it. Victims cry, leaders crush. The choice is yours. You can't be both. Stop looking for pity and start demanding results from yourself. The day you fully embrace ruthless self-accountability is the day you begin to transform. It's the day you stop being a pawn and start becoming a king. It's the day the world stops controlling you and you start controlling your world. Own it all. Fix it all. Conquer it all. Sacrifice now or suffer forever. There's no such thing as escaping sacrifice. You either sacrifice now for the life you want, or you suffer later living the life you hate. That's the brutal law of reality. Every lazy moment, every missed opportunity, every excuse you cling to is a debt, and life will collect with interest. You can pay the price now with hard work, discipline, and self-denial, or you can live a life of regret, bitterness, and misery while others surpass you. The weak want to believe they can have it all, the easy life today and the extraordinary results tomorrow. That's pure delusion. Every great life you admire was built on the graves of comfort and short-term pleasure. Champions sacrifice sleep, they sacrifice parties, they sacrifice relationships that drag them down. They sacrifice comfort, they sacrifice everything that stands between them and greatness. Sacrifice isn't a one-time thing, it's a lifestyle. It's waking up every day and asking yourself, what am I willing to give up today to get closer to my mission? Most people aren't willing to give up a damn thing. They want success on sale. They want a discount on destiny. Guess what? There are no coupons for greatness. You pay full price, up front, in blood, sweat, and relentless action. Every moment you waste indulging yourself now adds up to a mountain of regret later. You might not feel it today. You might not feel it next week. But make no mistake, your future self will curse your name if you don't make the sacrifices now. He'll look back with disgust, wondering how you could have been so weak, so stupid, so selfish with your own damn potential. When you choose sacrifice, you are proving to yourself and to the universe that you are worthy of freedom, worthy of greatness, worthy of living a life on your terms. Sacrifice sharpens you, humbles you, strengthens you. It makes you a weapon too dangerous to be ignored, too disciplined to be defeated, too determined to ever back down. You will sacrifice. Make no mistake about that. The only question is whether you'll sacrifice comfort now for greatness later, or sacrifice your greatness forever for a few pathetic moments of comfort today. Choose wisely. The clock is ticking. The graveyard is filled with people who thought they had time. You don't. Start sacrificing. Start now. Ladies and gentlemen, it all boils down to this. Only discipline creates freedom. Nothing else. Not dreams, not luck, not talent, not prayers. Discipline. Relentless, savage, day in, day out discipline. If you want the world to remember your name, you better be ready to bleed for it, to suffer for it, to die for it if necessary. The best version of yourself is locked behind mountains of pain, years of sacrifice, oceans of tears. And the only way to reach it is by doing what the cowards won't, living a life ruled by ruthless discipline. Comfort is the enemy. Excuses are poison. Feelings are irrelevant. Only action matters. You have a choice today. You can continue living like the average, sniveling masses, blaming, whining, hoping. Or you can rise. You can become the savage you were born to be. You can become unstoppable, undeniable, untouchable. But you have to earn it every single day with discipline as your sword and self-accountability as your shield. You can carve out a life most men only dream of. The pain you endure will fade, the sacrifices you make will be forgotten, but the pride of building yourself into a force of nature will last forever. Decide today, decide right now. Will you die ordinary, or will you fight like hell to become extraordinary? The choice is yours, and no one is coming to save you.